It's Melissa with My Membership Minute on Monday, March 16th, 2015. Make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end for details of a special giveaway this week. So here is what's been happening in our community and inspiring my yoga practice over the last week. This past week, I released a blog post on 5 ways to increase your commitment to your yoga practice, and I asked you for tips and tricks for committing to your yoga practice. So I'm going to show you where that is on our membership site, and it is right here on my blog section. And here it is, 5 ways to increase your commitment to your yoga practice. And one thing that stood out to me was Jenny's suggestion here. It was one of the first suggestions on this thread. Oops, well, there's the post. So I'll scroll to the bottom here. There we go. Of keeping a monthly planner for her yoga practice. So Jenny said each month she has it's actually a monthly planner. Each month has a nice side square for each day of the month. And then there's also a column along the outside right edge with lines for notes. In each day I write down what yoga practice I did. And I also make a column in the notes for the differences that I've noticed about my yoga practice. So this really stood out to me as a great idea. Now also this past week we released our first Just Like Me interview and our first interview was with Hannah. So I want to show you where that is on our forum as well. So if you scroll down here, it's pretty close to the top. And you go here to Just Like Me, and there's already been a lot of comments, and you'll find out why soon. Scroll to the last page, and there is the interview. So I highly encourage you to listen to Hannah's interview because she talks about her process of keeping a journal to track and review her yoga practice as well. So here are some tips that I've come up with since listening to Jenny and Hannah about keeping a journal. So mark down each month and day in your journal because at this point in the year it's pretty hard to find a journal, at least on an island where I live, with the months and the days in it. So you can get a journal where you'll have to write it in yourself. You can write down your yoga practices that you want to practice in advance. Now each day write down the yoga video that you practice. And in your notes, take down your insights and awarenesses as to the differences that you become aware of in your yoga practices. So this might be changes in physical limitations. It might be emotional breakthroughs or mental insights and awarenesses that you had from a certain class. Maybe it's an intention that you created to take away with you from your yoga class, one small thing that you're taking off your mat and into the world. Perhaps it's more esoteric, a spiritual experience or a change in your energy that you notice. Your notes can also be a great place to jot down something that you want to remember about the video you're practicing as well. Is this video a new favorite? Is it one that you want to repeat? Is there something that stood out to you? Are there neck stretches or hamstring stretches? Or does it practice with a certain body part that you're focusing on, or maybe a certain emotion or mental or spiritual aspect, something that you're working with? So here's where I think stickers, highlighters, washi tape, and stick-it notes can come in handy for those classes that you want to come back to. You can mark it right in your journal. So write down what stood out to you that you want to come back to in your journal. Finally, do you have any questions about the video or class that you want to ask me about? Remember, you have 24 access to me that you can come back to and ask me in our Ask Melissa section. Wow, that was bumpy. So on the forum here, you can click here, it's right at the top, Ask Melissa, and then if you had a question you wrote down in your journal, then you can come to our forum later and post a new thread here and ask me the question here, and I will answer it within 24 to 48 hours. I'm really good at answering our members. So here's what I learned from Hannah. At the end of the month, come back to your journal and review your practice for the month. What classes worked well for you? What stood out to you about your yoga practice? What are you going to continue to implement next month? And what are you going to let go of? So I was so inspired by Hannah and Jenny's yoga journals that I went out and bought a yoga journal for a giveaway. It's really beautiful. It's got a nice texture and a nice print of cherry blossoms on it. So we have beautiful cherry blossoms here in Victoria, BC, and we'll be sending them to you in this format here. And you can enter our contest to win this beautiful journal. It's got lots of space inside to write down you can divide your page in half, and you can write down the video you're practicing on one side, and then on the other side you can write down your notes about your practice. So all you have to do to win this journal is go over to the interview that I did with Hannah and leave your comments and questions for her. And when you leave your comments and questions for Hannah about her interview, you will be entered to enter the draw to win this journal. So the contest closes Friday, March 20th at midnight Pacific Daylight Time. And I will announce the winner next week on My Membership Minute. So My Membership Minute continues after My Membership Minute. So be sure to leave your comments and insights and awarenesses about this post about journaling on here. Respond here and let me know what you learned about journaling, maybe anything that you're going to implement about journaling here. And we all learn together when you do that. And even if you've never posted before, we'd love to hear from you. Or if you haven't posted in a long time, take a chance and leave your comments. We all learn and grow together when you do that. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening, and good luck in our contest. I can't wait to see who wins this journal. Namaste.